In this beginner's guide, I'm going to go over a multitude of topics, so I've chaptered them. So if there's a certain topic you're not interested in, just click on the chapters that you are interested in. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the collection level, since we all just want to know how to increase our collection level so we can get as many cards as possible as quickly as possible. So to enhance your collection level, you need to upgrade cards. So let me go to my collection and just show you some cards. So you need boosters and you need credits to upgrade a card. Depending on the card's rarity will depend on how many boosters and credits you need for that card. The higher the rarity, the more boosters and the more credits you will need. Every time you upgrade a card, you will increase that card's rarity, and all that means, it doesn't change any effects on the card, it just gives it an aesthetic bonus. So it'll come outside the frame, it'll become 3D, it'll get a shiny banner, it'll get a shiny logo, and then once a card is completely maxed out, it'll have this purple border, and that is the max rarity of infinity rarity. But then it'll split and give this rainbow effect. And all I mean by splitting is you'll have the maxed out version that'll look like this with the purple banner, and then it'll have a rainbow banner behind it, and it'll go back to common base rarity with a white banner, but it'll have the rainbow background. And then after you do it again, it'll get an additional effect, like this one's got this like light effect coming at me. And not every card will have that particular effect, like Sunspot. After I split it twice, now it does this like swirling light effect that looks pretty cool. So after you upgrade a card, it'll bring you to your collection level, and your collection level will increase, getting you closer to the next reward. So at the beginning, you'll see it's just like card, and that's just to feed you a bunch of cards quickly and get you addicted to the game, and they successfully do that. And then after a little while, it'll be like card booster, card credits, and then so it becomes like every other thing is a card. And then when you get further down, I think it might start even before pool 2, it'll be like card, reward, card. And as you progress, the cards become less and less frequent. Another thing that is unique to Marvel Snap, let me pull up my notes here. So you don't get cards like you normally do in regular card games, where you can just buy a bunch of packs and basically just spend like a few $100s or whatever and have all the cards. In this game, you have to progress your card level and you unlock cards at random, but the cards are locked within certain level ranges, which are referred to as pools. So pool 1 is level 18 to 214. So if my friend and I are both level 214, we have the exact same collection, we just got different cards at different times within that pool. The next range is 222 to 474, and the last range is 486 and onward. And the reason that doesn't have a cap is because between levels 500 and 999, you have a 50% chance of a mystery card, and then once you hit level 1000, it decreases to 25%. The last thing I want to mention about the collection level is, in this game, a lot of your matchmaking, if not all of it, is dependent on, I don't know how much it's weighted, but goes on your collection level. So if you only have pool 1 and 2 cards, you should only verse other people with pool 1 and 2 cards. So the only incentive you have to spend a bunch of money and get a bunch of cards quickly is just to play a variety of decks. It will not help you ladder any faster. So let's say you're in pool 2 and you grind the game for 2 weeks, you can get all the way to the max level and only see people with around the same card collection as you, which I think is really cool, and it doesn't feel grubby to me. I really like that feature. The next thing I wanted to show you guys, I'm just gonna run through the shop and tell you what I think about the value and if I think things are worth it or not. So this welcome bundle is actually really good value if you're interested in buying variants, because as you can see in the shop every day, you're offered different variants. So then the starting point for each variant is 700 depending on the rarity of the variant, and you already get one of those plus 700 gold, which is enough for another one for $3 plus an avatar. I'm probably gonna get that. Now, the variants costing so much gold, unless there's just a character you're in love with, I wouldn't spend my gold on the variants. I would spend my gold on credits so I can advance my collection level as quickly as possible and get as many cards as quickly as possible. This fast upgrade section, just stay away from. It is absolutely not worth it. So all it does is it lets you upgrade the card without having the appropriate amount of boosters for it, but at the cost of a really crappy rate. So normally, for instance, upgrading this epic level card to legendary would only cost 300 credits, but here it's 380. So just spend your 380 credits and get on regularly and upgrade, let that 380 get your progression level further than just the one upgrade that you could just get for 300 otherwise. So it's just super not worth it here. Stay away from that section. Every single day in the shop, the first option all the way to the left is just 50 free credits every day. There's no reason not to grab it. Just don't forget, grab your free credits every day. The other thing I'm going to talk about quickly is the season pass. So this is not unlike basically every game ever. The season pass has the best bang for your buck, and even if you don't buy the season pass, the things that don't have a lock on it are just free regardless. But if you do buy the pass, you get way more credits, you get different card variants, you get a bunch of boosters. At level 44, I think you get sleeves. Yeah, you get sleeves. It's just super worth it. And also every season comes with a new card that you unlock at level 50 in the pass. And then up here at the top, you get to see how much time is left in each season. And to progress the level in the season pass, you have to do missions. So you have your daily missions that refill 2 of them every 8 hours. And then it's either 7 or 8 hours. I think it's 8 hours. And then once you complete missions, either daily or your weekly missions, your daily or your seasonal missions, that progresses your progress bar on your pass and you get more rewards. When you complete daily missions, that completes your weekly challenge. And so as you complete your daily missions, you'll get more rewards. So it goes 100 credits, 200 credits. I think this is 250, yeah, 300, and then it bumps all the way to 500. So make sure you're doing your missions. It's just the best way to get credits. And then also you can refill 2 of your missions for 120 gold, progress this bar faster and get credits, rather than just going to the shop and spending the same amount of credits on just 120 gold on 150 credits. You can also progress your missions faster that way. A couple more quick things that I wanted to touch on in case they weren't clear in the tutorial is snapping. So Marvel Snap is extremely unique, not only in how you collect cards, but also how you ladder in this game. So traditionally, in every other card game I've ever played, I've played like 30 card games at this point. That's not an exaggeration. You have to have more than a 50% win rate in order to climb on the ladder. In Marvel Snap, you have a lot more control over how you win and lose, or if you retreat, which is basically like a mini loss. So every game in Marvel Snap is worth 1 cube. So if I snap, I can double the stake of the amount of cubes that are at stake at the current time. So every game starts at 1. If I snap, it becomes 2. If my opponent snaps, it then doubles again and becomes 4. At the end, the last turn of every game of Marvel Snap, the cubes get doubled again for a maximum of 8 cubes at risk per game. So let's say you snap and your opponent snaps and you win, you get 8 cubes. Let's say the next 8 games in a row, I'm not feeling my hand, I don't think I'm going to win, and I pull out before the last turn and my opponent hasn't snapped. I can do that 8 times and I've net lost no cubes. So you have much more control over how you ladder in this game. And I find that to be a lot more enjoyable, because not only is the speed of the game very nice, because it feels like you haven't invested a lot of time into a game you've lost. So for instance, if you're playing on like a Magic Arena, or you're playing Gwent or Magic Spell Slingers, something like that, and you just have a 10-15 minute game, when you lose, it's like, man, I just lost all that time, and it's just a feels bad moment. But in Marvel Snap, if you lose, you lost a couple minutes, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes. But if you retreated, then you can have at least the peace of mind that, hey, I didn't lose as many cubes as I thought I was going to, and you can mitigate a lot of the variance that inherently comes in card games. The other thing I wanted to talk about is priority. So whenever you play a game, you'll see your name on the top left or your opponent's name on the top right. Whoever has their name highlighted, it'll have like this rim of glow around your name. That person is the person that has priority. And what that means is your cards are going to flip first. And that changes a ton of interactions in the game. So I'll just give like a quick example. So Killmonger, when he flips, he kills everything that costs 1 on the board. If you have priority and your Killmonger flips first and his effect goes off and your opponent flips a 1-cost creature after that, Killmonger didn't see that card because it was face down and didn't kill it. But if your opponent had priority, their 1-drop would have flipped first, then your Killmonger, and your Killmonger would have then killed the 1-drop. That's just one tiny interaction, but the game is riddled with interaction, and whoever has priority can be extremely important to whether you win or lose or not. The very last thing I wanted to mention is on my channel, at least for probably about the first month, I'm going to be posting daily videos covering Pool 1 and Pool 2 decks and showing some gameplay. So since a lot of people are going to be playing the game for the first time, obviously tomorrow when Global comes out on October 18th, you're limited to the amount of cards you could even possibly have, since everyone will be Pool 1 at least for a little while, and then Pool 2 probably in a couple weeks to a month, depending on if you lightly spend, if you don't spend, and so on. And so I'm going to be having just basically deck guides and some gameplay on my channel, and I hope you check those out. I hope this guide was helpful to you, and thank you for watching.